My screen bright as a mug, but somebody was one of the guys on Instagram was like, "You should get a ring light." I'm like, my screen already bright as heck. I need to
Right.
minimize it so that it can make me have some color. Right now it's bright. I ain't got no color to me.
How do you have a light? You use a light?
I have a ring light. I don't have it on.
So this is just your regular light?
Yep.
Oh man, look, I need to get on your program. I need more light at all times. I
Nah,
have a
I
whole.
need. Nah, I need to be. I need to put a cover over it or something because it make me look too bright. Like you look like you got some color, some natural color to you.
Look, hey, you got some LED. You must got some LED lights. Yeah, LED, right?
You know what? It may be.
Yep, that's what it
Maybe.
is. So the light I'm using, it has LED, but you can also turn it to like the softer, you know what I'm saying, that the not as bright color.
Oh,
Yeah,
you got a dimmable one, light bulb.
yep.
Oh,
It's like
that's what I need then.
yeah, it's like a stand where you can really get it to a bunch of different like lights, like
That's
yeah,
what I need. Cause
yeah. Throw some yellow in there. Yeah, it's yeah. I'll send you the link. I'll send you the link where I got that.
did you ever do your Facebook page public?
I did not. I need to do that.
Because I just saw that notification again, and it said the comments to your Facebook profile won't show because the it's friends only, and it got to be talking about you because mine's public.
Yours is public. Yeah, I gotta get switch this from the yeah on my list of things to do.
Yeah, but we are back. We are back.
We back at it. We back at it. This is actually the first official uh, podcast, Unlearn to Relearn, with Brandy Yates and me, Jasper Lovett, aka Brother Love. We've been doing this for a while. It's nothing new at this point, but we wanted to make this an official thing. Get some people to comment and watch us. As we bring you guys some great conversations and information. Man, we have a good time on here, and so you can always watch our other clips on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram. Like I said, Brandy posts a lot more than me, um, but I'm trying to get my content weight up, so to speak. So, but yeah, welcome whoever's checking us out. We got a good conversation for you today. I'm excited. We're very bright with the lights, and yeah. How's it going, Brandy?
It's going. It's going. As I like to say, welcome, welcome to Unlearn to Relearn with myself and Jasper Lovett. I am Brandy Yates. I would like to say your favorite life coach. And if I'm not yet, I will be because you either gonna love to love me or you're gonna love to hate me. Either way, you're gonna love me. So
I like that. That's what's up. That's what's up. We got a couple topics. We always start off. I always got to take stuff from Brandy's threads because she posts a lot of good stuff. On threads. Threads is I love threads. A good vehicle to have. I feel at least I'm active when I'm posting on threads, even though I'm not recording videos. I'm still getting getting in some good conversations, and I feel like some posting some good stuff. But Brandy posts a lot on thread. I can always depend on a few of her stuff coming down the timeline, so we always can get good stuff, conversations from her because she always says some really good stuff. So definitely follow her if you aren't already following her on everything, and follow me as well. But yeah, we're gonna get into this first one. Now, Brandy doesn't know what I'm putting on these. She don't know which one of her, you know, which one of her uh, posts that I'm gonna do, but she know I got a bunch of them. So we're gonna start off with this first one real quick. Let me see. That's and it made me ask the question. Hold on one second. Okay, maybe ask the question. And I want to talk about the effects of not knowing yourself when you're getting into relationships, getting to know people, dating, and and how important that is. Because I like that post because I was like, man, that's very key. That's something that a lot of people don't talk about. You actually knowing yourself, and we all might think we know ourselves, right? But then we get into situations with people romantically, and you start acting out of character for who you are. You know what I'm saying? Like all your instincts, all of your, identity seem like it go out the window sometimes whenever you get with a person or you might start liking the person. It's like, oh, your friends be looking at you crazy, like, what? Who are you? Like you a whole different person when you with this girl or with this guy. So that's what I thought of initially whenever I saw that post. Like, oh man, I want to hear. I think I put it in your comments. Like, hey, I just want to hear more on this.
Yeah.
Whatever you got to say on it. So, what's your thoughts on that, Brandy?
Yeah, I agree with what you said about the whole when people get in relationships, they start to become unknown. You're like, dang, I didn't who is this a new person? And that's not always in a good sense. I think if you're in a relationship and your whole being changes to everyone who knew you before the relationship, personally, and I don't care if people agree or not, personally, I don't think that's the right relationship with you. Because you have changed ultimately who you are to appease the person that's in a relationship to the point where you become unrecognizable. I believe if you are going to with someone that's authentic, if you're going with someone who's allowing you to be you, then people who've known you before the relationship still should be able to recognize you. And I'm talking about with character. I'm not talking about, hanging out. Oh, we used to hang out all the time. Now you're in a relationship, you can't. I'm not talking about those type of things, because we understand you got to split your time, with the person that you're building with. So that person is going to be the one that gets most of your time. I'm talking about the whole, you literally have changed your identity to be with this person. Like you don't have friends no more because you with this person. You can't have me time because you with this person. Like I'm talking about drastic type changes. And I don't like those type changes because when you and that person not together no more, you have completely lost yourself. So when that person ain't there no more, now you don't know who you are. I don't agree with being in relationships where your whole identity is being taken because you're so wrapped up in the other person.
Mm, I like that. I want to pose a question to this. So, do you feel like it? You know, who can be to I ain't gonna say to blame. Who should we hold accountable for that happening? Is it the relationship or is it the person who like is the person causing us to change or is it the person deciding that this is who I think I need to be in order to be in this relationship?
Yeah, it's the person. It's the person because I know people don't. I know I have an unpopular opinion. I know that, and I'm okay
Oh,
with that because I really want us to be in relationships and friendships, family ships, whatever ship. I want us to really be in those in a healthy way, and a lot of them are not healthy. If you have to change yourself, whether it's you feeling like you need to do that or the relationship, the person is requiring that, that might not be the one for you. I feel like people always be like, accept me how I am. I want to love the person for who they are, but you don't. If you are requiring them to change so much, and they're not the ones who are trying to change because they feel like this is what I need to do just for my own personal growth. If they are requiring you to change something, that's control, that's manipulation, and that person is not loving you for who you are. They're loving you for who they're trying to mold you to be, and you allowing it.
I agree with that. I agree with that. Only thing I'll add to that is like as you said, if they really wanted to be with you, I don't know if they would ask you to do anything like that. I ain't gonna say if they wanted to be with you. If they were healthy for you, I think I like that a little better.
Yeah.
If they were healthy for you, they wouldn't require that, you to change who you are in
Hmm.
order to mesh with them. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? That's like me saying, I know on the last live, I was telling you I don't curse. And you
Yeah.
was like, oh, I need to. I'm like, no, you don't need to adjust just because that's what I do. Like you find just doing you. You know what I'm saying? Like just being who you are. And I think that's uh, a good mentality to have when you in a relationship, or like you said, any type of ship. You shouldn't have to change who you are. And
Yeah.
I might not agree with everything you do and everything you are, but that don't mean that I don't still care for you and I don't still care, about your well being and everything like that. You don't have to change who you are.
Hmm.
I don't feel like I should have to change who I don't feel like I should have to, start bashing women like crazy in order to gain popularity on the internet.
Yeah.
I'm not, that's just not who I am. That
Hmm.
ain't, and somebody might could look at it like, are you catering to one side or the other? I'm not catering to neither side. That's naturally me. Naturally, I try to see the medium come to the space where we both can come to an agreement on. That's the place where I actually live at. When it comes to giving advice and how to navigate through relationships. If I did anything outside of that, I wouldn't be being who I was. I
Yeah.
wouldn't be being me.
That's crazy you said that because I was talking with someone and they were like people just want to talk to people they agree with. And I said, well, first of all, I think we got to stop doing this narrative of you're wrong for wanting to coincide with people that you actually are on the same page with. We gotta stop trying to guilt trip people up with that. If I'm a type person where I say I don't want to be in the gender wars and I don't want to be in conversation where every single time I turn around there's always disagreement, never an agreement, that means we don't match, right? So I shouldn't have to purposely put myself in those positions for you to feel good, for you to be like, oh, well, she can be with people who don't agree. Like I don't have to do that for you. If I want to protect my peace, if I want to grow, and if I want to have healthy conversations, then I put myself in those positions with those people. Now, if it looks like we're always agreeing, I ain't got no control of that.
Right.
But I'm putting myself where I say I want to be. I'm not finna intentionally go into spaces and conversations for entertainment. That's not what I'm here for. If you want to do that, by all means, have fun. I, I just, everybody, it's so many, the control these days is crazy. The control that people try to have, the manipulation, it's absurd, but it's like, it's not called out enough. People kind of be like, oh well, I don't want to make it seem like I don't agree with people. I don't care. Come and disagree. That's cool, but I want to show you how to do it in a healthy way. But if you trying to get out your body with me, then this is my space. I allow certain people in this space or not. So I'm gonna go on and get you gone. So it's I don't know. It's the manipulation that people try to use and guilt trip people up, even in relationships. It's insane to me, and we
Yeah.
be allowing it too.
Yeah. At some point, you got to say, this isn't a constructive way to deal with each other.
Mm-hmm.
If that's who I have to come and get out my body just to be accepted. You know what
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying? I don't feel like you should have to do that at all. And but you do need to know who you are and where you stand as well. I think that's a lot of the problem as well, that people really don't know what hill they want to die on. You know what I'm saying? Like people really don't know what they would, you know, put on their tombstone and like, hey, this is who I am, and I'm willing to bet everything on this.
Mm-hmm.
Like, but yet you want people to have a an intelligent conversation with you. Like we can't do that if we can't come to an agreement on anything if you really don't know where you stand and who you are. We can't.
Mm-hmm.
Like me and you couldn't do this if we didn't know who we were.
Yeah.
We if I didn't know, okay, this is not the type of advice I do. This is not the type of content I do. So don't expect me to do something that I don't. This is not that's not what I do. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? Like this is not stuff I talk about because I don't talk about everything. You know,
Me
it's
either.
it's a space. Yeah, right. That's it. We both got spaces that we stay into, and that's the area that we, what I'm saying, that's our area of expertise.
Mhm.
But you don't go into other spaces because you know that's not who you are. That's not what you are passionate about. That's not what you're knowledgeable about. And I think you gotta be real about that.
Yeah.
You have to be real about where you actually function. I'm a married man, but I don't give a bunch of marriage advice. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't give a bunch of marriage advice, not because I can't, but that's not where I'm passionate about. The portion I'm passionate about is the foundation before you even get to this thing.
So let me say this. That is marriage advice because I think
Yeah.
people need to understand foundation. What you build on is what it's gonna be. So it's like people think once I get in a relationship or once I finally get married, it's gonna come together. No, it ain't. That it's gonna be whatever that foundation was. So to me, I actually do think as a married man, you are giving marriage advice. People want the surface level of marriage advice though. And it's like you come from the root of it. You come from the foundation of it. And good marriages don't start after the ring. Good marriages start before the ring. So you definitely are giving marriage advice, in my opinion. You're giving the layers that people need. People want to bypass the dating stuff correctly. They want to dating correctly stuff. They want to bypass how to have healthy actual relationships because in their mind and society and church people have told them get married and God gonna cover it. Or get married and it's gonna be fine. What you get married for? That's why I'm asking. What do you get married for? Because do you think that ring is gonna fix all your problems? Go show me somebody who once they got married, everything that existed before the marriage just went away and was fixed. Go show me that person.
Oh no, it definitely don't happen like that. Like the stuff happens after the ring. That's the truth. Stuff happens after that. But I like what you said though. That's I accept that because I don't look at it like in that terms, but that is exactly what it is. Focusing on the root of this thing because what you build on says a lot about what happens later on. Like what you do in practice like is gonna take a account in the game. Like when you're actually out there in the thing, the ring doesn't solve anything. It doesn't stop anything from happening. But you do have to be ready for. You got to be prepared for that. But like I said, you definitely have to know who you are and where you stand with things. To me, that's a major factor if you're trying to spend a lifetime with somebody. Well, if we're gonna be around each other, I gotta know that I gotta know what you are about, like who you are. Not just I feel like we in a space where a lot of people care about what a person can do for them. Like they care more about what you bring to the table that I can make use of, in the vision in the grand scheme of how I want things to look.
Yeah,
But who a person is going to tell you more, in my opinion.
yeah,
Like you
yeah,
have to know who a person. You got to know like I said, what hill they're willing to die on, because just if you getting what you need, don't necessarily mean you know them. You don't
yeah,
know them like that, like that. You might like what they do for you, but you don't know who they are. So of course you can't predict, what they could feel or where they stand with stuff because you haven't invested in that.
yeah.
Like
And
that's
and
very
I'm a firm believer in, like you said, the foundation stuff, the in practice stuff. People always they got this argument going on what's too soon or what's too late to marry somebody or whatever. For
mm,
me, my thing is that your timeline is your timeline. It will never be the same as somebody else's. However, if you do feel like you should be married within a year or two or whatever the case, just know when you're wanting to be married to somebody, you need to accept that person for who they are. If they never ever change, ever for the better, can I be with this person? That's what you need to get into marriage thinking about. Not, well, once we get to this stage, then husband and wife is a different title, so they'll change. Don't go in with that mindset, because them titles do not change people. Patterns do not change until you change them. So it's not a whole getting married is going to change the pattern. I see people say all the time, well, I don't know, well, you can't do X, Y, and Z because that's your wife now. That's just not a girlfriend. Baby, that title didn't mean nothing to them. If they was treating you like that as a girlfriend, they gonna treat you like that as a wife. Like that, I don't know why we think them name changes hold some sort of power that it don't. So if you marry soon, go into it with the expectation that I'm going to be with this person how they are now forever.
Right. I definitely agree with that. I don't get what the rush is. Like I think people are so worried about a person taking them serious that they think the quicker they do it, the more serious a person is about them. But sometimes you got to make sure that y'all are on the same page with the stuff you need to be on the same page. But it ain't even necessarily that a person is or isn't taking you serious. For me, I never worried about if a person was, serious about our, do we align? Do we align on the things that we need to align on? You can get married quick, and I ain't even knocking nobody for getting married quick. If that's what if y'all did, y'all could have did the work. I don't know. I believe two good people could have just ran into each other and did the work real quick. I mean, okay, all right. Hey, I accept that. But should it be the standard? I don't think it should be the standard at all.
Yeah.
I don't think everybody works like that.
Yeah.
Some
I
stuff,
don't think majority of people work like that.
no, and some stuff people ain't even comfortable with telling you, right off the bat. It's some conversations I know y'all ain't even getting to
Yep.
before y'all get married. You know what I'm saying? Like y'all ain't even broke ground on some important
Yeah.
stuff. You
And
know?
that's why I don't really fall into that whole people like, oh, they change. Well, I, I'm gonna have to ask more questions to see if they change, because again, people, like you said, people ain't even breaking into foundational things. They are getting together off the strength of something happened. It feels good. They feel good. You make me happy at this moment. We having fun. We turn it up. It's like it's a lot of surface things. You're there for me in my deepest, darkest times. It's like it's so much surface things that are happening to make people move so fast, and then you're like, oh, this is change, but it's like, y'all, I am a firm believer that not people are changing that fast. They don't change that fast. It's just you saw the mass that you wanted to see based off what they brought to the table that made you feel good, and you said, huh, this is my person, and you ain't saw them in all their seasons. You ain't saw them when they mad. You ain't saw them when you do some that aggravates them or annoy them. You ain't saw them when you say, "Hey, we gonna agree on this," and then they say, "Forget you, I'm gonna do my own thing." Like you ain't saw them in those seasons. You saw them when y'all was just always happy with each other.
Mm-hmm.
So
So
they ain't changed. It's just to see the different seasons happen and life happen like life happens, and now the other side to them is starting to come out.
exactly, you didn't give them, you didn't look at the full picture. It ain't that they changed. You just did. You saw the first two seasons and
Yeah.
you thought that was the full picture. Like, no,
Yeah.
you have not. Like you said, I think seeing somebody angry is very important. Seeing somebody angry is a very important thing. You got to know what that looked like and know how, like we gotta figure something out when it's going down. Like it has to look a certain way. It can't just,
Hmm.
because you can't just think this person don't get angry.
Yeah.
Like even the calmest people gonna get angry. They might not express it the same way, but I mean, everybody has emotions. Everybody goes through them. So
Facts.
don't assume that, oh, they love me. They're not gonna do that with me.
Right. Facts. Yep.
I don't know. I wouldn't put my money on that, but we'll see. Yep. So okay. All right. Cool. That was, yeah. I like that post you did. Like I said, I think it's important. That's something that, like I said, not discussed a lot about. A person actually knowing who they are and then trying to get with it just don't make sense. Like that's a very, a relationship. a relationship coach I used to do lives with on Instagram. He was the first person that said that to me. He was the first person that put me like made me aware that like you got to know yourself. This is what he used to say. Shout out to Coach R. Anthony. He used to say you got to know yourself. That's one of the before you even start dating people, and you need to know who you are.
Hmm.
I'm like, man, that's
And,
deep. Like,
and a lot of people don't. And what's crazy is so this is how you know people are trying to use other people to mask what they need or themselves. When I talk with different people and I ask them, "Do you know your patterns?" The moment they get mad, well, how would I know that? Because I've had people get mad when I ask that. Oh, well, you told me everything I need to know. And this is why you're trying to control the people that you call yourself liking. It's
mm,
because you don't really know yourself. So you're trying to lock them in to feel whatever voice or whatever it is you're running from when it comes to yourself. You're trying to lock them in. You're trying to control them so that they can cover what it is that you're running from. Because that asking that question should not make you upset or bothered. You
right.
should be like, yeah, I know I got to work on X, Y, and Z. The fact that you don't do that, you're not accountable and you're running from yourself. You don't need no relationship. You need to go find yourself.
That's the truth. That's the truth. Hey, that's the truth. That's the truth. Look, that just reminded me. One of the first on my very first date with my wife, I had to let her know what was going on with me. The very first date, like that's where I was at with it by the time I met her. I don't care nothing about impressing nobody. I want you to know who you're getting and what you about to get into.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? I don't want it to be no surprise. And I ain't talking about nothing cute. I'm talking about stuff that would make you want to the other way. You know what I'm saying? Like I ain't talking about making it pretty for nobody because that wasn't on that. Like, look,
Right.
once again, foundation. I say I'm gonna give this person the best chance to if they need to leave, I'm putting all the chips on the table.
Yep.
So you
Yep.
know exactly who I am before we even it ain't no surprise or nothing like that.
Mm-hmm.
Like I feel like that's fair if you're gonna be with somebody. Put it all out there.
Yeah. And before we go to the next question, or next topic, the thing is with that too, because I've seen people say that too. They're like, well, people lie and they don't tell you, what they actually want and all that. And that is true. So this is what I say. However, we all see it happening. So the full responsibility is also not on that other person to tell you. If you know people come lying or not really putting everything on the table because they don't trust you yet, or if you know people come barely telling you everything, then don't move so fast. You know this already, so it ain't they full responsibility to, well, they didn't tell me. Okay, you grown. What somebody gotta like, you ain't no little kid. Like, well, they didn't tell me. Okay, did you ask? Like, y'all don't even have real conversation. So you didn't ask, they didn't tell you. Whoop de doo. Both of y'all fooled each other. Like, I don't know. I get tired of the whining as adults. I promise I don't get it. I
That's
don't
hilarious.
get it. Like, goodness, you don't know how to communicate yourself? Like, do you not, if you don't ask certain questions and the person don't tell you, then who at fault? Because you didn't ask either.
Exactly. Exactly. That is very important that you establish that it is not just on that person to, you don't have to move at a certain rate until you get the information you're looking for. Like that's you deciding to keep going further and keep your emotions growing with a person that you don't have the information you need on.
Mhm.
I mean, some people would say that you don't trust them fully. So if you don't trust them like that, then why are you proceeding to go down the road? Like it doesn't make sense. You can't get mad at them if you are yourself not having any type of governor on what you are doing with a person and what the information that you need to have in order to trust them correctly. Like you have to seek that out yourself. Ugh, I'm sorry. That was good. That was good. That was very good. Because that's something that you don't even like I said. Once again, it's not talked about.
Mm-mm.
You always
It's
put it on the
and,
person.
and it's not talked about because we're in a society where we want to blame everybody else for stuff. We don't want to blame ourselves. When I say accountability is a trend, it is because we like to hold other people accountable, but when it comes to holding ourselves, we forgot what the definition means. Because we still in a society where we want to blame other people for everything that happens to us. Do you know you have a say so in what happens to you too? Let's start there. Let's stop thinking it's always somebody else. There are signs you missed because you wanted certain things. There are signs that you ignored because you wanted certain things. Let's stop blaming other people for doing certain things to us that we allowed. You heard of what's that when you accessory? You become an accessory to your own hurt. Let's take accountability for that.
That's tough. That's tough. And accessibility to your own hurt. Mm, I like that.
Because we don't like that.
No, no. Like you said, it's easier just to blame somebody else for what's going on. Like, hey, ain't nobody that you letting people in your house. Ain't nobody break in. You're letting them in. You got to be
Ooh.
watch the people who getting coming into your house. Like it's your house. It's your house to protect, not nobody else's.
Mhm.
So if they come in acting crazy, you let them in. Just remember that you let them into your house.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, good stuff. Good stuff. I like that. All right, we're gonna move on to the next topic. This is a post that I had saved that I wanted to talk about. Um, let me see. Let me click it on up here. Oh, I did the wrong.
This almost sounds like a similar one from last week.
Did we
Worded a
do
little.
something?
It sound like it, but whatever. It's very similar.
What did we do last? Look, I might have just liked that topic. I don't know. Let me see.
Yeah, no, but a lot of people post some of the same things, and so it's cool. Okay, you go first on that one. I think when we posted something similar, I think I went first with that
Okay.
one.
Okay. Yeah. With that, hey, you know what? Now that you say that, hey, we did do something similar to this. I cannot. I can't. Yeah. Look. That's 40 for you. That's 40 years old for you. we might have did. We might have did the same thing. I don't think it was the same thing. It might have been something.
No, it was very similar, but I don't think it was worded the same. But either way, like there's layers to different topics, layers
Yeah.
to stories. You know what I mean? So it's like, I might come last week, we might come from the north side of it. This week we gonna come from the east side of it. You know what I'm saying? It's like different directions that hit stuff. So it's still a valid good question.
Cool. Cool. All right. Let's come from the east this week. All right. All right. So whenever I saw this post, it definitely sparked some things in me to start thinking about me whenever I was dating and I would like a girl or something like that, and I found out that the guy type of guys that I saw she liked, and I would instantly take myself out of the running if I felt like there was a whole different speed. You know what I'm saying? Like I had this big crush on this girl in high school, and I didn't know how to date then, so I didn't know how to get out the friend zone and all that. So, but I heard she was dating this guy, so I was like, oh, okay, let me see who she's dating, and I was like, oh no, we're two totally different. She never liked me. Like we two totally different type of guys,
Mhm.
and so I always like this post remind me of stuff like that. Like whenever you meet someone who's dated a certain type of person, for me it always would turn me left towards that person. I don't know if that's right or wrong,
Yeah.
but I just know that it would count for something because I'm like if this is what you like and what you're into,
Mhm.
you couldn't possibly be into me.
Yeah.
So I'm a whole different type of thing. So
Mhm.
that was my initial thought. Just like a person's resume. If does it and is it fair to even do that? You know what I'm saying? Like does that tell the full story of who they are? Because they could have had a type and it could have changed,
Yeah.
that type of thing. So that's
Yeah.
my initial thoughts on that.
Yeah. Yeah. I think people patterns tell the story. Because I could have just been in a season of my life where, I'm going through my hurt girl era. So, I just want to try different people I ain't never had. So, you might see me dating this type of person or that type of person and that type of person. Like they all kind of, different or whatever. So it's not I don't think that type of thing tells a story about a person. But if you see a person like the patterns and the type of people they choose, I think that tells the full story. Like if all you go for is drug dealers, yeah, that tells you I'm not, I wouldn't be your type. But like if somebody, okay, at one point in your life you dated a drug dealer, then you dated a business owner who owns a construction company, or you just dating a 9 to 5 guy. Like I think if it's kind of all over the place, then I would say you're in your exploratory stage, of dating or whatever. And so, it is what it is. People be fine, trying to find themselves or whatever. But if you have a certain type, like I said with the drug dealer, that's just as easy as I could say it. And everybody you dealt with was a drug dealer. If I ain't a drug dealer, now I know I ain't your type. I ain't gonna even waste my time. So I think the patterns of who they date tells a story, but I don't necessarily think like, you know, everybody they've dated kind of tells their full story, if that makes sense.
That makes perfect sense, actually. I like how you put that. If it's not a consistency, then it shouldn't be judged like that.
Yeah.
So I apologize to my old high school crush because I don't know if you ever did this, but
No, ain't no apologies. No, because no, because it'll be things where it's like if I gotta judge you to that extent, to me, if I gotta judge you to the extent anyway, I kind of really didn't want you, because when we want people, we be kind of putting some stuff to the side just so we can kind of talk to them still, no matter what we saw. So like if I'm looking at you like that, I'm like, I ain't really got that strong attraction or bond to you like I, think I had or whatever. So I wouldn't say apologize. I think it was good. Think it
I will have to disagree. I would have to disagree because
was,
I wasn't even finna go here. I was in love with that girl. Okay, let me just
you
say
was in
that
love with her?
I was in love with this girl. She was the number one on my list. Number one.
Why? Now let's go there. Why? How you be in love that fast? What you do? What happened?
No, we know each other for some years. I knew her
Oh,
for years. I
okay,
just
okay.
I was a friend. She didn't know I liked her like that. I don't think she knew I liked her like that. Maybe she did. She didn't care. I don't know. But
Uh-huh.
she didn't know I liked her like that. Oh man. So I was like trying to like find my way into the romantic stuff. But like I said, she started dating this guy, and I was like, oh, if she like that type of guy, there's no way. There's just no way I'm on her radar. Like,
So if y'all known each other for that many years, like, so was that the only guy you've known her to talk to, or?
yeah, that's the only guy I knew that she actually was talking to. Yeah,
All right, okay, you kind of tripped in on that.
that's what I said.
I take back what I said. You kind of tripped. I'm
I
thinking, okay, okay,
can admit, I can admit, I might have been tripping on that. Hey, I
okay,
was
okay.
young. I mean, I was a teenager, but
But you ain't the only one that say that though. I see people say that now. People will be like, if I'm digging somebody and I look up and I see that they're talking to this type of woman, because women say it too. If I see they, only like the women that get their bodies done, then that's it. I ain't your type, So yeah, yeah. But again, if I see you, for me, it's a pattern though, because like if I see you with one person that got her body done, I'm not gonna automatically be like, oh, I ain't your type. But if I see that's literally what you tend to go to, you like the vixens. So yeah, I'm definitely ain't your type because I ain't a vixen. I'm not finna always be made up. I'm gonna have some sweatpants on, her gonna be in a ponytail, a messy ponytail sometimes. I'm not gonna be always made up. So it's like, yeah, I still stick with the patterns. I don't necessarily like push people off. People who I really want, I don't necessarily push them off if I see them like one person that
mm,
may not fit, my character or whatever.
this is a good conversation. I like this because I beg the question. So if you like, what is it about the if you like the Vixens, what is it about them that makes you? What is it about you that makes you like someone like that and like someone else? You know what I'm saying? Like, how does that work? How do you like two totally different types of people that
Well,
can't have the same stuff going on? You know what I'm saying?
right,
Like,
right. I
how
think
does
for
that?
me, well, not for me. I think for a lot of people, I think attraction comes first.
Mm,
So you can't. I don't believe you can just always help who you're attracted to,
mm,
but you can't help who you entertain. So
oh,
like if you're attracted to the vixen, okay, we get it. Looks come first, but then you only want that vixen for a certain thing. But then you're also attracted to somebody else who's not a vixen, and you are actually attracted to their mind, their morals. So it's like the attraction can be based off whatever it is you're intending to use that person for. So like for some men who like the vixen, it's like I might like the body, I might be looking at you in a sexual way, but I know I would never make you my woman.
mm,
So it's one of those type of things too of seeing like it depends on what season that person is in. Like if I'm not looking for a relationship or something serious, then of course I'll go
mm.
for somebody that I know is surface level and I'm attracted to because I'm just here to have fun. I'm not here for a long time. I'm just here to have fun. So that's how I could see somebody being attracted to that type, but then also being attracted to the opposite type.
I'm liking this more and more as we go. So, so I think that kind of like ties back into the topic. So, if you in a season that you like some drug dealers, okay, and then in your current season you like someone maybe a little more conscious, is it fair to judge you from your drug dealer season?
Yes.
Does that mean that you still got some drug dealer in you that you need to, get out
So
of you? Or,
So I think it's fair to judge. I think everybody should judge according to what they want in their life. You know me, I'm the judger person. Like I'm probably the one who you ain't gonna see saying, "Well, don't judge." No, I'm yes, please judge. Like I'm that person. So yes, you if you saw me with all drug dealers my whole life, and then now I've become woke or healed or whatever, and I don't want the drug dealer no more. Yes, it is fair for you to judge me based off that. However, people can judge you and still want to see what you about,
yeah,
or people can judge you and say, I'm out the door. Either way, it's a win-win. Because I don't believe in people doing the whole thing. Well, don't judge them, give them a chance. No, judge them and see if you want to give them a chance, but don't go in block because I did that with friends. I was trying to not be in my judgment era, and when I tell you I got into all kind of BS, and it was like, man, bro, I should have just listened to what I was seeing with them. Like when I say messy, yeah, that really is who you are because they was messy majority of the time, but then they were nice to other people. So I tried to go off the niceness instead of what the majority of what I saw, and I gave them a chance. Again, that's not on them, that's on me because I judged it or I tried not to judge it, going against myself and what I know and what I feel just so I could please the world and show that I don't judge.
mm, that's you
I do
should
now.
correct.
I ain't playing those games. I do because I want people to be their authentic self, right? If you gotta change who you are because I judge, then that's on you, buddy. Because I ain't changing who I am, knowing that people judge. Like even the main people, I always say this. Even the people who say they don't judge, be judging. Anytime you give an opinion about something you like or don't like, it's judging.
Yeah.
I think people mix. They try to blur the lines between hypocrite and judgment
Mm,
or judging. Like just because somebody judging doesn't mean they're being hypocritical. But there are people who are judging that are big hypocrites.
yeah.
So I know I got off topic a little bit with that one.
No, no, I don't. I don't think you did at all. I think that was perfect. I think what you said. you have to judge to see if you want to deal with people. I feel like you do need to make a judgment call.
Hmm.
You know, you got to make a call at some point. You know,
Yeah.
you've seen enough, you know enough to make a call, and I think that you should do that in your relationships when you're dealing with people. You know what I'm saying? Like, and and hey, you could be wrong,
Yeah. Yep.
but you gotta go one way or the other with it.
Hmm.
You know, I could have been wrong about my high school crush.
Yep.
I don't think I was, but
Yeah.
it's all good. You know what I'm
It's
saying?
all
Like
good. Yeah.
it's all good.
We don't always make the right decisions on the first
Yeah.
time. Like, hey, it's all good. You can't
It's
even really say it's a loss. You don't
no,
know.
no, exactly. You really don't even know. I wouldn't even put it. You know, and I know people have misjudged me as well. I know people have had the wrong impression about who I am and what I stand for,
Yep.
and I'm like, yeah, that's not. I don't know why you thought that, but maybe I did something one day that made you think, you know, it was something else. Maybe I made
Yeah.
a joke that you didn't realize was a joke, and that threw the whole perspective off.
Yep.
But I think that's important though. Whenever you're talking about the full story of somebody, you can only go off of what they're giving you a lot of times.
Hmm.
You
Yep.
know, if they're giving you certain things that's turning you off and it's turning you off and it's turning you off,
Hmm.
they could have some good in them that you like, but you can gave me 15,000 things to turn me off, so I don't even want to get to the whatever the other
Hmm.
stuff is.
Nope.
Like you giving me the road I'm going down don't look good.
Yeah.
How can I? You got to give me something to go off of. I'm not telling you to lie to people in order to win. How they feel about you or anything like that. But you can't expect people to, if you putting this thing out there and it's not something that's attracting people. You can't get mad at them for not wanting to be with you.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's what I talk about when I tell people who like sharing their bad dating stories on the internet. Like, do you understand? Like, the person who's good for you is seeing that they're not looking at that like it's a good thing. Even if you're in the right, even if you're in the right, it not people not reading that like, oh, I want to get with them. No, like
Yeah.
that's not what how they seeing that. They don't come across like that.
Yeah. Not only that, like, but you gotta the way you're saying it matters too, because a person you thinking I'm showing like how I was done wrong, and what a real mature person is looking at is like, first of all, how did you get them all your time like that if they were such a bad person? And then secondly, you claim you're so healed or you're so mature, you're so this, you're so that. How did you get fooled by them? So it's like you're not really giving the story off that you think you're giving when you're constantly telling your bad, dating stories or experiences online. So
You're not, and people don't understand the effect of that. People are looking at your profiles. Like I was what it's been 15 years since I was dating. The first thing I did when I met my wife was go look at her Facebook. The very first thing, because I'm looking to see if she say anything crazy on this timeline. I can feel like everything is all good with the conversation we had and the stuff we did. But if I see any venting about something foolish, it's done. Like, it's done. Because you decided to type that up and put that into the world. It ain't think okay, I can't do it after that.
I'm glad you brought that up because it annoys me so bad, and I know we gotta close in a minute. It annoys me so bad when people be like, um, you, what's that thing that it's like it's a, if you judge me by my social media page, you just as stupid as the things I post. Well, I guess I'm gonna be as stupid as the things you post then, because why you posting stupid stuff? Like, it's manipulation, like gaslighting, and it's like it's gaslighting. So you want me to ignore the dumb stuff you posting and just be like, man, this is a great person. They are so healed. How stupid would I be to do that? If you don't want to be looked at a certain way, don't post it. It's as simple as that. You cannot manipulate people into to not looking at what you post, especially if it's, again, it's repeatedly posting it. Now I can see if you posted something, had an opinion about it, hey, but you don't really get into that. But repeat post, oh no, that's who you are, and I ain't got time to join my energy with that type of person.
Exactly. Look, I had never heard that. That's my first time, and that
Man,
don't even make sense. What do you mean? Like,
I
What do
see
you
it
mean?
so much. I be like,
You can't just be putting anything out there thinking that don't mean nothing. Like, no, it does. It does mean something. Like,
you judge me by my social media posts. You're just as stupid as the things I post. Well, I'm glad you admitted that you post stupid stuff.
yeah,
So
right.
now I'm about to be stupid too, because yes, I'm about to judge you by it.
I'd rather I'd rather you look at me as stupid because ain't no way I'm gonna look at that stuff. You just saying this crazy stuff, and I'm like, oh, they good. Like, no,
Right.
what do you mean? I'm
So
not gonna go on a
annoying.
date with
Boy.
you. That's insane. That I never. These
I'm
people.
surprised you ain't seen it, because
No,
yes,
I
it,
ain't never seen that.
man.
But
I'm
that's like
like,
like you said, that's gaslighting. Like reverse psychology. Like you're
reverse
crazy.
exact. When I say it again, I'm gonna screenshot it to you. Like, look, I told you. And I'll be sitting there, people like, and then in the comment section, oh my god, they be like, right, people take Facebook or social media too serious. Uh, but you ain't joking though, because you keep saying it. Like
Right.
every time I turn around, you bashing the opposite. Like you ain't joking. You really hurt. That's really what's coming from you.
Yeah, yeah. That's the thing. You think that it ain't showing the way you think it ain't showing up how you think it is,
Mm-hmm.
and it is. It's painting a picture. And to me, if you really didn't feel like that, you wouldn't have to keep on reminding people that that's what's going on. That's what you need to post.
Yep.
It ain't that I'm taking social media serious. I'm taking what you say serious. Ain't nobody gonna make no threats, and I'm not gonna take it serious. Like oh, I do that every Wednesday. I threaten everybody on the internet. Like no, I'm not. That's not a normal thing. What are you talking about? Like I'm taking that serious. Like
Exactly. Whatever. But people be falling for it. But that's also how I see. Oh, you a sheep. They can control you, because how you let people say that and then you like, right? No, 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 no. Stop posting it then. For you
exactly,
to be delusional to think that you're not being judged is crazy as heck.
exactly.
Adults with preschool mindset or toddler mindset is what I call it. Because ain't no way you thought you can post crazy stuff and you're not being judged by it. It's crazy.
Mm-mm, not at all. Yeah, see, I like that. I'm glad I put that up because I don't think we went. We talked about something similar, but that right there was a different thing right there. I like that right there.
Man,
Yeah, yeah,
I'm glad you said it, because you don't see people admit it though. That's why I said I be saying some unpopular stuff, because man, either people be thinking, I know I be saying stuff that people think, but they don't want to post it because they don't want the backlash. But for me, I'm comfortable in who I am. Like with or without you, I'm gonna be me. So I don't mind posting stuff to run people away. Hey, you ain't my tribe anyway. Then if I gotta run you away, less people to argue with. A win is a win.
You say I ain't got to block. I ain't got to block half of you.
Hey, sure.
That's what's up. All right. Hey, this has been a great conversation. Our first official, Unlearn to Relearn episode. Like we're going to be doing these, you know, uh, every Sunday that we can, and man, like this has been a great conversation. I thank you, uh, Brandy, for your time and wonderful insight. And man, shout out to my high school crush. I appreciate you.
She don't get no shout out. Get her off of here.
Oh shoot,
She
yeah, but
ain't relevant right now.
it's all good. Look, and this is stuff.
Life
Look,
is
for
good.
anybody new to me, don't think this ain't stuff me and my wife haven't talked about. Okay, she know all my stories backwards and forwards. This ain't nothing. I don't want you looking at me like, why he say that? My wife know every story. She's tired of hearing my stories. Okay, tired of it. So yeah, don't think that's a thing. Okay, I talk about my dating experience very comfortably. Okay, that's the type of marriage I got. We good. So just a FYI.
Right. Yeah, because you know somebody gonna say it. You know how the world is. So
Yeah, you already know it. But all right, that's a good episode. Like I said, unlearn and relearn. Make sure you follow me and Brandy Yates on all platforms. Man, we're gonna be giving this stuff to y'all, and man, we having a good time. We just getting started. So,
just
man,
getting started.
for
Yep.
sure. Like I said, just catch us again and catch the replay on, like I said, all platforms. Brandy's YouTube, my you, or yeah, I'm gonna get it on my YouTube at some point. But yeah, this has been fun. Yeah. All right. You got something? You got something you got to say?
Nope.
All right. All right. All
We'll see you guys on the next live.
right.